Now, covering every county, this is your statewide newscast, Arkansas Today.
We begin with breaking news just coming into the newsroom this afternoon as the Pope County coroner has confirmed to us a man is dead after a shooting into the Atkins area. We just received a press release within the past few minutes that say, according to the Pope County Sheriff's Office, a man was armed with a handgun walking down Avenue 3, State Highway 105 in Atkins, and was pointing the weapon at passing cars going by there. According to the Atkins Police Department, they responded, made contact with the man, and the individual began firing at that officer. After the initial gunfire, the suspect did take off. As officers encountered that suspect again, the suspect fired at officers who returned fire, killing the suspect. No responding officers were injured in the accident. Again, we are just getting this information. We're also told that Atkins schools were placed on lockdown for a short time this morning because of a report of an active shooter, but we have just learned that a man has been shot and killed in Atkins. Much more coming up later in the newscast. Plus, you can go to our website for more on that. We have a reporter on the way to the scene, and we'll have more. In the meantime, you're taking a live look as the Senate chambers prepares for the impeachment trial of President Donald J. Trump, only the third president in the history of our nation to face the proceedings. Months of anticipation and political crossfire that have all led up to this moment on Capitol Hill, while the man at the center of it all is in Switzerland and has had some final words about the trial before it began.
The other's just a hoax. It's the witch hunt that's been going on for years. And it's disgraceful.
It is with those statements we enter the arena of the hearings. Parallels are being drawn between this and the most other recent impeachment trial in memory. And impeachment, as we know, is ultimately a political process, and both sides can look back on the lessons learned from Washington's last case against a sitting president. As the second impeachment trial in a generation with some of the same cast of characters, but this time playing very different roles. Andrea Mitchell explains.
A solemn moment, only the third time in American history. The Chief Justice escorted into the Senate chamber, the senators all taking an oath to be impartial, even signing their names to an oath book.
Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. All persons are commanded to keep silent on pain of imprisonment.
But for the first time, the president is being tried by a Senate controlled by his own party, with a leader who said he's made up his mind.
I'm not an impartial juror. This is a political process. There's not anything judicial about it.
21 years ago, the president on trial was Bill Clinton, trying to carry on as though the trial wasn't even happening.
I trust that the right thing will be done, and I think in the meanwhile, I need to work on the business of the people.
And not as now running for re-election.
By these radical left lunatics, I get impeached.
Bill Clinton's charges: perjury, lying to hide an affair with an intern, Monica Lewinsky, and obstructing justice.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky.
Unlike today, party leaders back then got all 100 senators to accept the trial's ground rules, vowing to iron out remaining differences quickly over witnesses.
There are many questions that we're having to address that are different from what has ever been addressed before in history.
We want to give it another effort, another 24 hours or less.
In Clinton's trial, Lindsey Graham was one of 13 House prosecutors demanding witnesses, telling Tim Russert on Meet the Press.
What I'm saying here is that we're alleging the president turned the judicial system upside down for his political and legal gain, and you need witnesses to tell that story.
Graham now blocking the Democrats' demand for witnesses like John Bolton.
I think what's best for the country is to get this behind us as soon as possible.
The biggest role reversal, Ken Starr, prosecuting Bill Clinton and making public 453 pages of evidence before the trial, including salacious details.
The president had to make a decision. He could choose truth or he could choose deception. The president chose deception.
Even drawing criticism from a New York real estate developer on Today.
I think Ken Starr is a lunatic. I really think that Ken Starr is a disaster.
Ken Starr now playing defense for President Trump.
Now he's up here to defend the strongest impeachment case in my lifetime. Well, that's their choice, but it's a weird choice.
Perhaps the biggest change, the explosion of social media. with President Trump having the largest megaphone of all.
Whatever happens, I think any of the division and antagonism that we see on the Senate floor is only going to be amplified.
And that was Andrea Mitchell reporting. Back here at home, a Pulaski County judge will hold the city of Little Rock and police chief in contempt if they don't put an officer who was fired following a deadly shooting back on the force. Our Susan Alcori was in court today. Susan, what did the judge have to say?
Well, Mallory, the judge made it clear by the end of the day, Officer Charles Starks needs to get his badge, gun, and credentials back, or Little Rock's police chief will have to turn in his badge, gun, and credentials, and the city will also have to pay a steep fine each day until Starks is back on the force. Starks left the hearing pretty quickly today. You might remember he shot and killed a man during a traffic stop last February. He was never charged in that shooting, but he was fired over it. He first appealed to the city's Civil Service Commission without success, so he then went to Circuit Court, where Judge Tim Fox ruled the city never should have fired Starks. Well, today the judge said the city hasn't followed his ruling, and going forward they'll be punished if they don't. Starks' lawyer calls it a victory.
I just hope the chief and the mayor lets bygones be bygones.
Both Mayor Frank Scott and Police Chief Keith Humphrey were in court. Neither commented, saying they are appealing this decision. Now, Starks will have to go through firearm testing, which is standard. The city expects that to happen soon, but they do plan to keep fighting this decision in appeals court. Back to you.